Man, what a huge win by the Sixers over the Milwaukee Bucks. It got really stressful at that end. I'm not going to lie. It got really stressful. My heart was pounding. I had no idea how that thing was going to end, especially after Niang tossing it, inbounding it in the Furcon at the end there, getting the turnover going out of bounds. It was just like, man, that really had to happen at the end of the game. But hey, Joel Embiid getting that big foul. Basically, honestly, taking that big foul on Giannis at the final couple of seconds there to even prevent a free throw. And then just getting those big defensive stops at the end of the game in general to close this game out. Tyrese Maxey getting some big shots at the line. Joel Embiid just being Joel Embiid in general today. His usual dominant self. And such a huge win by this Sixers team against a very tough opponent. And hey, going into the All-Star break, huge win in general. But hey, the next Sixers game we get to see is going to be James Harden suited up in a Sixers jersey in the starting rotation. And I cannot wait to see that. But still, this is a huge win by this Sixers team. And before we get into this huge win, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. If you're new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that sub button. So if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at. It is great or a miserable time, depending on the outcome. Also, if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you are looking for any tickets to any upcoming sporting event, concert, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So hey, you can go see James Harden making his first home game in a Sixers uniform. Yeah, go get yourself to a Sixers game. Also, NHL games, football whenever that comes back, baseball whenever the hell that decides to come back. You can use that $20, eradicates all the fees there. It's free money in your pocket. You can use that to get a drink, food item at an arena because you know how expensive those are. So yeah, use the $20 code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So very, very huge win by this Philadelphia 76ers team. And also, like, something just to say, before getting into majority of the positives in this game, because there are definitely a ton, this was a very huge win by this team. Doc Rivers. Doc, why? With the bench rotations at the start of the fourth quarter. Like, there are definitely pros and cons in this game. Going into this game, you still don't have, because you're still affecting from the James Harden trade. You still don't have Steph Curry. You're still missing Andre Drummond. So you're still missing some pieces here. And it's still a very huge win nonetheless when you still don't have James Harden in the rotation. And you're still missing a lot of these guys as a result from that trade. But the bench rotation, why, Doc? Just why? Because going into that fourth quarter, you basically, just between the third and the fourth quarter in general, you get the double-digit lead. But then when you bring out the bench, you're basically just letting Milwaukee back into the game. You're letting Giannis get hot. And that fourth quarter was probably the most stressful thing I can watch whatsoever. Just seeing over there Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Tobias Harris all on the bench at the same time. And just none of them out there rotating with the bench. Just at least have one of these guys out there, maybe two of them. Why all three of them on the bench? Why are we going with this bench rotation while Giannis and the other starters are out there on the floor doing their thing, grabbing the momentum from Milwaukee and just making the lead just even tighter? Just why are we putting ourselves in that situation consistently? I know it's hard because when you're dealing with the stuff from the James Harden trade, you're missing guys like Steph Curry and Andre Drummond. But still, why? Why do you have to put us through that stress, Doc? Just Doc, come on, man. And I know Doc's been like this entire season. It's basically just been Doc Rivers' MO over his entire career, but still, it doesn't make it any less frustrating nonetheless, but still. Away from the negatives. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. My goodness. Especially Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Especially just the bounce back game from just the miserable pile of crap that was that Boston Celtics game where basically just nothing went right for the Sixers and Boston was literally hitting every shot possible that they could. My goodness. This was definitely a great game, great bounce back game. And like I said in that previous recap, Joel Embiid, when he has a very miserable night from his standards, and especially after the Sixers had that very miserable night against Boston, he was going to follow that up with a very, very huge game, especially like he did tonight. 42 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. Perfect game by Joel Embiid, just his typical dominance. 14 out of 21 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 11 of 14 from the charity stripe. Just pure dominance, just those step back threes. Joel Embiid just taking advantage of all the triple teams, man. Like, you triple team this guy, and you can't stop him. You just can't stop him. No matter how many defenders you put out there, no matter Giannis, Drew Holiday, anyone that Milwaukee Bucks team has, no matter what guy you put on Joel Embiid, he is going to score. He is going to do his thing. And that is exactly what he did today. Joel Embiid, pure perfection, as he has been this entire season. I love it. I love it. Tyrese Maxey, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 4 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, but perfect from the free throw line, 10 of 10. Tyrese Maxey, great game from him. Tobias Harris, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 of 20 from the field. Didn't get anything from 3. He went over 4 from there, and he only went to the free throw line once, and that was very late in the game after he did make a clutch shot after the Milwaukee Bucks were basically flopping back and forth with the lead basically midway through that fourth quarter. And Niang, too. Niang, what a hell of a game by him, especially with the way he was balling out. 18 points, 6 out of 12 from the field, 5 out of 10 from 3. Niang, all the shots he was taking, hitting half of his half of his threes. My goodness, Niang. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Just thank you for going off in this game, and he also went 1 for 2 from the field. He was 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and he also got some of those big stops late in the game as well, especially when Milwaukee was trying to hit that late 3 in the clutch to tie the game and also take the lead as well. So yeah, Niang definitely had a very, very good game as a starter in this. Played 40 minutes as well, so he had a very big role in this game. And look some of the other starters. Maxey playing 40 minutes, Joel Embiid playing 37, Tobias Harris playing 41, but the other starter, Matisse Thybulle, a very, very miserable game, 0 points. He only played 15 minutes, and yeah, he was basically taken out of this game for Furkan Korkmaz, who played 30 minutes off of the bench. He provided a nice spark as well. He had 13 points in this game, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 3 of 4 from 3, 5 of 8 from the field. So yeah, Matisse Thybulle, not so much. Not really much in this game. I know some people are going to complain, why isn't Matisse out there against guys like Giannis? Matisse being miserable right now offensively, it's going to keep him out of the starting rotation. And especially when James Harden comes into this, you're most likely probably going to be seeing Matisse Thybulle minutes drop a little bit and being put more into that bench rotation, maybe being more of a sixth man. So you never know what's going to happen with Matisse Thybulle right now, but right now just offensively, he's not cutting it. He just isn't. And then looking at some other guys off of the bench, you got Shake Milton getting 13 minutes off of the bench, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Then you got Danny Green only getting 2 points off of the bench in 14 minutes. Paul Millsap getting 4 points in 11 minutes. So basically, this was just a very specifically when you see the Sixers being, down as much, especially when you're missing guys like Seth Curry and Andre Drummond with the James Harden trade. So yeah, this was definitely a big night for the starters and also Furkan coming off of the bench as well. So yeah, just a huge night from those guys. It really just shows, and just that end of the game was just so stressful to watch, especially with the way Giannis was going off in this game. He wasn't really his dominant self throughout the entire thing. The Sixers were guarding him nicely. It was basically just when Doc brought in that bench rotation going into that fourth quarter, it was just Giannis woke up. And I'll live and die with the Sixers getting Giannis basically taking those threes, because he only shoots 30% from 3. So I would live and die him taking those threes every single day of the week. And just sadly, he was hitting them. Sadly, that was the case in that fourth quarter. He hit 2 of the 3-pointers he hit 2 of the 4 3-pointers that he took. Giannis finished with 32 points in 39 minutes. He got 11 rebounds and 9 assists. He was 1 assist away from the triple-double. 13 out of 23 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 5 from the charity stripe. And looking at some other stats from this game as well. The Sixers as a total, they shot 50% from the field exactly, 44 out of 88, and from 3 they shot 35.3%, and 5 of those, basically, I would say, almost half of those threes were by Niang. So yeah, he was very good in this game. The Sixers shooting over 85% from the free throw line, which was also very huge in this game. And just specifically, this win by the Sixers was just gigantic, ginormous. And also, you get that little scary situation with Joel Embiid going into the locker room, with the wrist issue that he's been having with the past couple of games. But, Joel Embiid, that's not going to keep him out an entire game. He just came right back out and dropped the good old 40 burger like he normally does. So I'm not overly worried about Joel Embiid going into the locker room for that little instance. He's going to have some nice, even though he's going to be in the All-Star game, he's still going to have a lot of nice time off, just, rest up that wrist. So that's going to be definitely huge for him just to get some rest time in there, because you're going to have some leeway off now between your next couple of games here, with the All-Star break being this weekend. So we look at the upcoming games for the Sixers just coming out of the All-Star break. Hopefully ESPN does load for me a little bit right here. So we go to February right now against the Milwaukee Bucks. So they win here. The Sixers' next game, they're not until February 25th, which is going to be a game at Minnesota. Then basically you're on the road for 2 games after the All-Star break. Minnesota on the 25th, and then the 27th you'll be at New York against the Knicks. And then basically it'll be James Harden's first game will be against Minnesota. And then if you're looking for James Harden's first home game in a Sixers uniform, that's going to be Wednesday, March 2nd, once again against the New York Knicks. And I'm going to be at that game. I bought tickets this week going with one of my buddies. I am dying to see James Harden in person in a Sixers uniform. I am dying, and hence TTP Sports at SeatGeek. Get $20 off. Definitely use that if you want to see James Harden's first night in a Sixers uniform. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. I recommend it heavily. But yeah, just a very huge win by this team. Huge, 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 huge. And it was a great win too. Just from seeing Joel Embiid do his thing, Tyrese Maxey having a huge night, Tobias Harris, Niang having a great night, especially when it's basically just the starters taking over this game. After just going through all those stressful moments, they found a way to win. And that's basically all you can ask for. Just a huge win going into this All-Star break. A lot of players just bouncing back from that terrible night against Boston a couple of days ago and just having this huge night tonight. And that's all you can ask for going into the All-Star break. And then now we get to see James Harden after that. And that is a wonderful thing to think of. It really is. So, what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? I want to hear your thoughts on everything. Joel Embiid's performance, Niang's performance, Tyrese Maxey, your thoughts going into the All-Star break, your thoughts about James Harden's next game in a Sixers uniform, which will be against the Minnesota Timberwolves on the 25th. Definitely hear your thoughts there. So don't forget to leave your comment section in the comment section down below. Did I just say that right? Leave your comment section in the comment section down below. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. God. I would definitely like to read those as always. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. And also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. It's raining out there, so hopefully you didn't hear that crash. Thank God I'm in the video. So, all that stuff, everyone. Huge win, and I will see you next time.